Hey everybody, Thomas here, and today is actually Thanksgiving Day 2020, and this is the sixth log that I've cut up this morning. I started off cutting up a maple log, and I've cut up a couple pine logs, and now I'm onto this sycamore log. So I've been talking about this for about a month now. I need to cut the sycamore, I'm finally cutting the sycamore. My goal is throughout today, I'm going to be going in and out of the house or anything. I'm going to try to get this cut up. What I've done thus far is I've done my reference cut on the bottom, so I have a nice flat bottom right there. Now all I did is I took off some of the knots, and I can already tell you the wood's going to be very pretty. It's not super spalted, but it's been sitting here for nearly a year. I think I got this last December maybe, or November. Anyways, it's been sitting here for nearly a year. I thought it would have had a little more spalt to it, but it has just enough. Once sycamore starts to rot, it rots really quickly. So I've actually caught this at the perfect time. And just a little, this is what the little reference cut piece that I cut off and everything. One thing I love about sycamore, if you've ever cut sycamore, is you get the medullary rays throughout it. It's really neat looking wood, and it has some really cool colors. Now, you can see I have the water spots there where the sawdust was. I'm really interested to see what this looks like when it dries out, but I do have just a little bit of spalt. Not a whole lot, not overpowering. I've actually cut some sycamore before where it was actually too busy with the spalt. This, I believe, will just be enough to make it where it's going to look phenomenal. So yeah, really looking forward to cutting into this log. So stay tuned. We'll be doing more with this beautiful log. And the dimensions, I don't know. I'm going to rough estimate this. It's about 10 foot long. And on this end, maybe 16 left to right, 20 up and down. And this is the small end. On the butt end, a little bit larger. So I think I will probably book match some stuff out of this. I don't know exactly, but this is going to be very pretty stuff. Or I am probably going to cut this thick. Sycamore is interlocking grain. It does like to move around a lot. So I will cut these kind of thick, but this will be slabbed up, and there may be one or two book match pieces. So we'll see. All right, so stay tuned. More to come. All right, folks, so we're back out here. I'm going to continue to cut on this sycamore log here. I'm not actually going to use the log dogs or the log stops really to hold it in place. I think the weight of the log should be plenty. I just need to get another reference cut here to take some of these knots off. So you see the knots like right here, and on the other side, which you can't see on the camera, on that side over there, I've got some that are pretty gnarly that are going to be in the way of the saw head. So I'm going to go ahead and make this cut, get a nice clean edge, and then we'll flip it over again and then start slabbing it down from there. So stay tuned. Just in a few skim cuts, nothing special. We'll see what it looks like. Alright. It does have some nice spalt to it. Nothing crazy. But again, with Sycamore though, my favorite are the medullary rays that you start seeing. I think we've got a nice flat surface to work with. I feel like it's going to be pretty stable. We'll go ahead and turn this log over and start slabbing it down. I'm going to go and throw in a time lapse and we'll see what she has on the inside. I'm really anxious to see, once I start getting some more of this heartwood here, what it's going to look like and how far the spalt goes in. I'm very happy right now that I'm not seeing a lot of bug intrusion. I actually have not come across any larvae yet, so that's very promising. It's been nice this week, some good solid boards. Here we go. All right, everybody, I don't know if I had a brain fart because there's turkey in the mind or whatever, but I'm just trying to figure out what do I want to do with this log. And I got to thinking, like, well, am I going to cut off one side and then just book match everything, or am I going to, you know, just slab it up and keep it live edged? And I think the answer is I'm just going to slab it up with live edge on both sides, because I can always bring it back out to the mill. Now, it won't be a perfect book match or anything, but I can always bring it back out to the mill and resaw it down if there's something that people like. Or I could at least take off the edges, one edge or the other, and then they could do like an epoxy river table where they put the flat edges on the outside and then do the live edge portion to the inside to keep it with that river shape. So after much consideration and me just scratching my head like, how can I maximize the most out of this log right here, we're going to go back to the 2-inch scale. Since this is Sycamore and Sycamore does tend to move, I want to make sure if it does move, I have enough wood to work with on the planer so I can plane it down. And also at the length that it is, just over 10 feet, I want to make sure that I want to have it be beefy enough that we can make a table and span a long distance without it bowing or flexing. So 2 inches should be good. I'm liking what's coming off thus far. Now again, the water from my blade loop there kind of throws it off a little bit, but I mean, it looks great. And again, anywhere you get like that quarter sawn look, it's just beautiful. And as I slab down, the section that's going to be near the pith should have a lot of that flecking. Now, with some of the smaller Sycamore logs, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try quarter sawing a Sycamore log. True quarter sawing a Sycamore log, not just doing, I've got a little cheat method I can do, but I'm actually talking about cutting it into 4 quarters and cut, turn, back and forth. So without further ado, let's get back to cutting this. I'm going to go ahead and throw it on time lapse, and then we'll kind of look at some of the end product and what this looks like. So hopefully I'm choosing some music folks like. I just kind of randomly choose some free stuff that's out there. So bear with me. We'll see you. Thanks. right, folks, so a lot of thinking is occurring. I think what I'm gonna do is turn this into our kitchen table. And what I like on this edge right here, essentially it's nice and uniform until that knot right there. On the other side, it comes out a little bit and dips in. I'm thinking I'm gonna stick with this edge here, and I'll cut that side off over there. And then I will get 3 slabs out of this. So I'll be able to pick and choose. Now, I'm gonna get above the pith, in the pith, and below the pith. So really, what's really gonna happen is probably my middle slab will be the throwaway. And I'll use the slab above and below the pith. And that should be essentially most of the way quarter sawn. And I will have some checking on the ends, but the good thing is I'm going to stop the table there, so I've got about 18 inches to work with there. On the other side, there's a little nick that comes in. That'll be probably 6 inches or so to work with, or actually more like 8 inches to work with. Now, there are a few things I'm going to lose if I do cut this side off. More great flecking right there. However, most of the edge of this is going to have moderate flecking. It won't be as pronounced as like a section like here, where it's right up against a knot. We have, I guess it was a branch formation there, but I think I'm working with a better edge on this side here than on that side there. So that's going to be where we go with. So we'll get this turned where the edge I'm going to keep will be down. So this edge down, that edge up. Now, one thing I've got to take in consideration, this knot section right here, I do have my toe board right here. And I got to make sure it clears without hitting this, because I want to make sure I get I want to get this edge right here on all 3 of those bunks. I want to have that be as level and as true as possible. So what I might need to do is I'll lift up my toe boards, move the whole log forward about 2-3 inches, and go from there. So let me throw this on a time lapse. And you also saw when I was cutting on the log there, I did a lot of movements. I actually got the log kind of stuck because the knots that were on it, but you know, worked with it a little bit there on the hydraulics and got it turned around. In all actuality, it probably only looked like a second or 2 on the video, but in actuality it probably took like 2 minutes. So without further ado, we'll get on it. Here we go. Folks, these are 4 beautiful slabs that came off of the sycamore tree here. These are the ones that I kept the live edge on both sides. Now, if you saw in the video, I had 3 slabs that I kept live edge on one side because I'm going to put some together. I want to make our dining room table. So these 4 here will probably be up for sale and stuff like that. Now, these ones right here, I've tried a couple different orientations, and this is quite beautiful. It has a ton of flecking going on here. So if you see, I mean, just look at all of it. That is absolutely insane how much flecking is going on down at this end, which is weird because it's on the edges, and it's where it's essentially straight, like quarter sawn if it would be straight grain. This slab here had a little bit going on, not a whole lot. So this right here will probably be maybe turned into a shelf or something like that, or a bench, maybe a bench on one side. That would be a pretty nice matching piece to go with the table. But I want to make this into our dining room table. So you have almost like a butterfly effect there. I think that's pretty cool. And again, just massive amounts of flecking down here on the ends. I'm really liking. It's not overpowering with the spalt. It's just enough. But if you look this direction, that kind of looks like a sad toad face. Like isn't there one guy in Star Wars that kind of looks like that? It looks like something sad. But regardless, I think this will be our table for our kitchen, because it's just beautiful. Dimensions, it's about 31-ish inches across, I believe. I'll have to measure it to be exact, but I think this will be it. So, kitchen table, not dining room table, kitchen table, and then what I'm standing on will be a matching bench on one side. So we can put all the kids on one side and eat a meal at this beautiful table. I think that's what we're gonna do. I'll have to figure out what I'm gonna do down here. I'll probably have to cut a straight line across there, which is really upsetting because I'm gonna be cutting off a lot of that beautiful wood, but I will make that into something. What, I don't know. Maybe I can use that, I don't know. Maybe use those little curved pieces as like a corbel piece underneath to support something going underneath. I don't know. This is gonna be beautiful, and this will be kind of a Christmas gift for my wife, I believe. I think she'll like this one, because right now we gave our kitchen table to my sister-in-law, and yeah, we're using a plastic table right now until I built something. So I think this is it. Yeah, I'm almost certain this is it. This just looks too beautiful, and we'll have a matching bench to go with it. So very happy with these turned out. It was a slow cut because I had to do a lot of thinking. I mean, I don't know, I'm kind of out of it today. I don't know if it's because of, well, I was out late last night, and my wife and mother-in-law have been cooking all day today. So, and I cut a ton of pine, so I don't know. And the whole time while I'm cutting this, I'm thinking in my head, like, what am I gonna do? What I need to build? What I need to buy to make this build go really well? Do I need to do metal legs? Do I do wooden legs? I don't know. So a lot of thoughts are going through my head, but at least I think I have the top figured out and at least one bench. Some of the other boards over there, I could turn into some of the support structure. I don't know, but I have more of that same tree, so maybe I'll take another section of that tree, make all the framework underneath of it, and go from there. But this is gonna be an exciting build. I'm excited about it. I'm just also overwhelmed because of how many projects I have going on, but I'll get it done. I'll get it done. Yeah, stay tuned. We'll see you around. Thanks.